Let's talk about you. What's it like to be you? What are you going to tell me if I ask you that question? Well, I'm asking you that question. What's it like to be you? What kind of answer might you give? You might say, well, it's pretty good being me. Or you might say, every moment is an angst-ridden hell. Nobody suffers like I suffer. Or maybe you've got some answer in between. But actually you haven't really answered my question if you answer like that. Because you've given me a judgment, haven't you? You haven't told me what it's like to be you. You've given me an opinion, a judgment. It's either good or it's bad or okay. Could be better. You've given me a judgment, haven't you? I didn't ask for a judgment. I asked what it's like to be you. Well, what kind of answer can you give? Is it possible to give an answer which isn't a judgment, which isn't a kind of summing up? Perhaps you could just tell me what your mood is, because that's maybe more honest. Maybe you're a little bit impatient. Maybe you've clicked on the video and you're a bit torn between wanting some kind of understanding and between wanting some kind of titillation. Some of these related videos look interesting. I might click on one of them. So perhaps if you told me your mood right now, I'm a little restless, I'm a little horny, I want absolution. Perhaps you want a way of expressing your joy. Perhaps you're looking for a sense of completeness. So there's a feeling of yearning there. Or perhaps you're just wanting some entertainment of a particular nature. So I suppose we could say there's a feeling of looking for something. But there's a feeling, isn't there? There's a feeling of some sort. But is it a continuous feeling? What's it like to be you? Is it a constant feeling being you? Or perhaps you're just in a particular mood right now, and that mood changes, maybe not from moment to moment, but depending on the time of day, your mood might be quite different. You might have a certain mood when you wake up in the morning, certain mood in the afternoon, certain mood in the evening. They can all be quite different, can't they? So which one of them is you? Which one of them is the real you? Are they related? Are these three moods related? Are these different moods related? Or is there somebody or something experiencing these moods? Well, that would be interesting. What is it that's experiencing these moods? Is it another mood experiencing these moods? Can you tell me? Is it simply moods? Or is there someone or something experiencing these moods? There will be certain things that occupy your mind at a certain time, and other things which occupy your mind at another time. But that's just like moods, isn't it? Perhaps certain things which occupy your mind at a particular time are the ones which you like to think are you. And perhaps there are things which you think of at another time which you might quite like to brush under the carpet. So I suppose the answer to the question of what it's like to be you depends on the time. It depends on the time of day, time of the month, time of your life. I might get a different answer each time, what it's like to be you. But in asking this question and trying to pin down what it's like to be you, I hope that I got you thinking about it. I hope that I got you wondering about it. And you know what? In that thinking, in that wondering, is you. Is you. That's where you are. That's what it feels like to be you right now, in response to the question that I asked, if you truly responded to it and weren't just listening blankly to the words. So it's in that wondering, in that consideration, you direct your attention to certain feelings, to certain ideas. Some of these ideas might be real, or they might be imagined. For example, you might imagine that you're actually continuous somehow, that you're the same from one moment to the next. But in what way you're the same is impossible to describe unless you come up with some notion, some imaginary notion. Perhaps you like to say you're a soul. The soul doesn't change. Is that what it feels like to be you? But you're just giving me an idea. You're just giving me a bit of dogma by saying that. All you're saying is you believe that you continue, that you're continuous. Although there doesn't seem to be any quality which is continuous from one moment to the next. Except perhaps that quality of wondering, of thinking, of directing the attention towards a possible solution, weighing up certain possibilities. But the weighing up only comes after the attention has got something presented to it for the consideration of the intellect. So you might have answered the question in terms of something imaginary, like a soul, like being a soul, or having some sort of continuity, or having a certain feeling or mood. Feelings and moods certainly aren't continuous, although they can be recurring. Well, let me ask you this. Are you aware? You'd automatically say yes to that question. So, what does it feel like to be aware? So when I ask you what it's like to be aware, this isn't the same thing as talking about a soul, because being able to hear or see what I'm saying here is an intrinsic part of being aware. And that's certainly something which seems fairly continuous, doesn't it? Even though you spend a lot of your time asleep, even though you might have passed out on occasion, you would say, yes, you're aware. That's what it feels like to be me, to be aware. Not to be you as a particular person, because the factors which make up that person are changing all the time, aren't they? If you direct your awareness to your moods, to your feelings, to your thoughts, they're changing all the time, although they might be stuck in certain patterns, but there's change going on from moment to moment. And you can bring that change into your awareness, you can become aware of that change. So this is what it's like to be you, which is the same as it's like to be me. And it's got nothing to do with you or me. It's about being aware. This is consciousness.